Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Guys, we're going to be seeing a video today taking you guys all the way to Australia. All right, and this is titled 7 common Australian items that I've never seen before. All right, if you're curious to see these items, please subscribe, and if you find this video interesting, do want to like, share and subscribe. All right, so guys, let's jump in.
You know when you move to a new country and you expect these massive culture shocks, like the accents, the wildlife, even how incredible the coffee is here in Australia. But what no one warned me about were these 7 absolutely genius inventions that Aussies use around the house on a daily basis. And so it's no wonder Australians have the 6th highest life expectancy in the world. They don't just know how to survive, they know how to thrive. And these 7 little items might just convince you that the rest of the world needs to catch up. And hey mate, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Sam, a British actor documenting the journey of rebuilding my life here in Australia. Now, number 1, the Australian plug. Now, I'm from the UK, and I don't know if we're famous for our plug, but it's quite iconic, it's quite chunky. And while I'm not a Sparky, I know that this pin here, this is called the Earth pin, right? And lots of people in the UK, they get quite passionate about this plug. They're like, yeah, we've got the best plug in the world, us Brits. It's the best thing. No other one beats it. And then as soon as you actually try to assimilate to the country, you're like, oh no, Australians do a lot of things better. Those 2 diagonal prongs, I've never seen anything like it before. Sometimes there's 3 pins in it, but do you know why
Okay, hold on guys. Like the plug in the UK is actually the same with the one we have in Nigeria here. Our plugs have 3 pins as well. All right, so these days they've started producing plugs with 2 pins. All right, so let's go and see this Australian version of plugs and see
absolutely
how theirs is.
In the UK, we have this plug, right? It's the bathroom plug. It's this one here. That's what it looks like. And it is getting harder and harder to even find a place in the UK that has this input. And yet, if you buy an electric toothbrush, more times than not, it comes with this bathroom plug that if you don't have one built into your house, you have to get an adapter. You just end up spending more money. I'm like, why can't we just make our electric bathroom products this plug instead? We use it for everything else. Now, I imagine this is because it's more safe when there's, water splashing about. However, I bought a new electric toothbrush the other day and it came with the normal Australian plug, which means my electric toothbrush charger now has the exact same plug as all my other Australian electric products. It is so helpful. This might make me sound like a bit of a sad person, but I don't really mind. It's the little things in life. By the way, we're aiming to reach 50,000 subscribers before the year ends, so if you want to help us on that journey, hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Let's get back to it. Number 2 is the Shoo Away. I'm not saying this is an Australian only product, but I've only ever seen it in Australia. From time to time, my family, we like to go to Menorca. It's a Spanish island. It's a gorgeous place, right? Delicious coffee, gorgeous pastries, and you eat outside a lot of the time, which is lovely. However, there are so many flies, and I've been like, oh, if only there was some sort of invention that would waft away all the millions of flies trying to attack our food and coffee without me having to do this with my hand. It doesn't look very cool. And then I moved to Australia and suddenly I'm walking past, the odd cafe and restaurant and I see these spinny things on the table and I think, surely that's not what I think it is. And yes, it's exactly what I think it is. It is this lightweight, battery-operated, portable product with these flimsy things that don't hurt at all. Ignore that B-roll. And they spin around so elegantly. Even if your kids touch it, it's not going to hurt them, probably, but I don't take responsibility for that. And the flies absolutely hate it. They're flying so far away, they're off to Perth. But honestly, in the summertime in the UK, we have the exact same problem. You'll go to the beer gardens, have a little picnic, a few drinks, it's lovely. And all the flies and wasps are swarming you. It's not a fun time. But I feel like sometimes in the UK, instead of us inventing something to make our lives better, we sort of just whinge and whine about it and sort of just get on with life and not do anything about it. But I love that in Australia, they were like, no, I'm sick of this. Let's build something. And it is quite possibly one of the most simple inventions ever, but one of the most useful, especially as if you live in a hot part of Australia like I do, you'll want to eat and drink outside most of the time when the weather's good because it's just vibes and this thing absolutely saves.
Oh my god, I kind of like this Australian invention. All right, this is really genius to produce something like this that can actually chase flies away. Like, it's really cool for you to be out to enjoy yourself and not get to worry about flies, about insects flying around you. All right, so this is really good. Like, this is really wonderful. All right, so I think lots of countries should actually have this because this is really cool.
the day. Number 3 is the stubby holder. Now, forgive me, Brits, if we do have this. I've never seen it in my life before. Basically, you can put anything into this thing and it will make it cold. Anything as long as it's shaped like a can.
Really?
So only cans, really. It's like a woolly jumper for your beer, but instead of it heating up your beer, it keeps it cold. Oh my word, it's absolutely amazing. The first ever Australian barbecue I was invited to, I just had to pretend I knew what to do with this because I had no idea. I thought it was like maybe a kitchen, utensil holder you put your tongs into. But in the UK, although we don't get, the most hot summers ever, we don't use these things, and our cold drinks in cans, they just go warm immediately. Whereas in Australia, they were like, again, sick of this. Okay, we're not just going to grovel about it and do nothing and just complain. Why does my heaps normal always get warm? Instead, they were like, how would I keep something cold? I'll build it something. Lovely. It's brilliant. You could put a beer into it, a Mountain Dew, even a light sour cream if you're feeling a bit fancy. But personally, we don't drink a light sour cream. With a country that protects its beer this well, you know it's got its priorities right. Number 4 is Squeezy Vegemite. Now, I must admit, we do have Vegemite in the UK, but I've only ever seen the ones in the glass jars. In fact, when I met my wife, who's Australian, I once got the scariest text from her. She was in absolute tears. She was sending me stuff like, Sam, it's ruined. I don't know what to do. I'm like, oh my gosh, is she going to dump me? But then I get a FaceTime call from her, and all I see at the other end of the camera is a smashed jar of Vegemite, shards of glass everywhere, and the paste is all splattered across the floor, even on the carpet, which is very difficult to get out, I will tell you. So from that moment onwards, we were both like, if only there was an easier way, not only to put Vegemite on your toast and in your sandwich, but also something that doesn't break and isn't so dangerous to the feet. And that's when I feel like this is a commercial for Vegemite Squeezy. It's not. We went to an Aussie supermarket and they had Squeezy Vegemite. Oh my word, all of our problems are solved. But I've never seen this in the UK, and oh my word, does it make your life so much better. Absolutely tidy. And speaking of keeping things tidy, fly screens. This isn't something we have in the UK. Again, there is nothing worse than opening your window, especially somewhere like Brisbane in Queensland, and basically every fly and mosquito and wasp in the area coming in. I once saw a wasp eating and carrying at the same time a spider bigger than my hand, and I thought, yeah, we're not in Cheltenham
Oh my
anymore,
goodness.
so. Whereas in the UK in summer, while we don't have a lot of hot days, when they are hot, they're really hot because we don't have air conditioning. You'll open your back door and every bug is coming in and you just have to live with it. But in Australia, a lot of houses and apartments come with fly screens, not only on the windows, but also on the doors. A lot of them are crim safe, which, as you can probably tell from the title, means that no one can break into them. So it keeps your home safe against the burglars and also all the creepy crawlies outside. Now, I must admit, when I first moved here, like a lot of Brits, I was anxious that everything was either going to bite me or poison me. And over a year later, while I've realised that this is very unlikely to happen, and no, there's not as many spiders and snakes as people make out to be on YouTube and in films and stuff, it does make you feel a little bit safer when you're snuggling into your blanket at night, knowing you've got fly screens on the windows and doors and huntsman spiders can't come into your house. But I do have to say, if you're not from Australia and you really want to come here, but the only thing that is stopping you is, you know, the fear of snakes and spiders, please just come. Some people love to do fear mongering about Australia, and most of the people who are saying, yeah, there's spiders and snakes everywhere, they're going to get you every second of the day, they're usually people who've never been to Australia themselves. Number 6, mosquito plugs. These things have absolutely saved my life. Not literally. In the UK, if I get bit by a mosquito, it's fine. It's a tiny little red dot. But in Australia, it's like my British blood isn't attuned for these mosquitoes. So I get this big, I don't know what the medical term is, allergic reaction, where it wells up into a massive red, yellow, horrible thing. If I scratch it just for 1 second, it makes it so much worse. It gets bigger and it lasts for weeks. It's horrible. So especially if you're British, be careful about the mosquitoes here. But there's these little electronic devices and you put these little cartridges in them. They're really cheap, by the way. You plug them in and yes, they do make a bit of a smell, but they detract all the mosquitoes around you. Well, not all of them. I mean, a few.
Interesting.
Those ones could get through, perhaps. And while they don't work 100% of the time, it does add an extra layer of defense, especially if you have very nasty reactions to mosquito bites like I do. By the way, I also have a Patreon where I share behind the scenes and exclusive content, so if you're interested, I'll leave that in the first link in the description below. Number 7, the absolute best thing on this list. Blew my mind the first time I saw one. It's a Thermomix. This device, right, is basically like a robot sous chef. And no, they're not not pay me to say that. The funny thing is, this wasn't even invented in Australia. It was created by a guy in France who wanted a more efficient way to make soup in the 1970s. But Aussies, they've kind of like claimed it for their own. And I know this because you'll watch an episode of MasterChef Australia and a lot of them have a Thermomix on their kitchen units when they're preparing these dishes. And my mother-in-law, who's a massive fan of MasterChef, thought if it's good enough for professional chefs, it's good enough for me. So she bought one and this thing is amazing. As you can see, it looks like basically a massive blender, right? But it's got a heating mechanism in it. It's got these blades in it that can either gently stir stuff, blend stuff, puree stuff, and the whole jug, apart from the lid, is metal, so it can actually cook food while it's like stirring it around. So it means that any of those like tedious jobs you have when preparing food, you can literally do it in this thing. And I love this because it's like a taste of the future, but we're living in it right now. Put a load of ingredients in, like all the ingredients for pizza dough, you select the pizza dough button and it does it for you. It's even got this thing on it where it's got a load of recipes, and on the touch display screen can weigh things for you so you get the exact measurements. It does like 10 different kitchen things all in one, probably more. And I will be honest, they are very expensive, but most people will probably spend more on something like an oven. So it could be a good investment if you're, you know, a bit of a foodie. And honestly, if I had this thing back in London when I was a 21-year-old broke actor, this thing would have saved my life. I would have had so much more time for auditions because I wouldn't be cooking as much in the kitchen. And the thing I absolutely love about Australia, it's not just about surviving in the heat if you're in Queensland like me, it's about thriving in it. And these inventions show you how much thought goes into making life not only easier, but even more enjoyable, more effortless. And I think that's kind of beautiful. But inventions aside, you probably want to know what the 8 things are that Australians don't have to pay for, but Brits absolutely do. So click this video here and I will see you over there.
Okay, this is really an interesting video, and it's also an eye-opener because some of the Australian inventions, so to speak, are inventions that I've never seen in my whole life, in my entire life. And I'm pretty sure I'm not just the only one, right? I'm pretty sure some Australians too are not even familiar with some of these inventions. All right, so this is really cool. My favorite is the shoe away. It's actually the first time I'm getting to hear it, and I kind of like the way it works. All right, so this is really wonderful. Let me know in the comment section which of these inventions you're familiar with and which of them you have in your various homes. All right, thank you for watching and see you guys on my next one. Bye.